saw you on the poster, and I saw you on a face, and all the way to windows in the way. And I didn't know what to say about the way.
And I told you how to know you, and I told you how to date, but everything I said was just a name.
And I just can't go on today.
I've been setting the note high for this time, and I think I could make you be some. And I think I can hold you, and I just can't go, 'cause I think I can stay enough.
And I've been saying what you're bold, I've been saying what you're mine, and I've been saying all the parts is I won't show.
And I think I can see and I know I've been saving all my high for this time, and I think I can make you be some. And I think I can hold you, and I just can't go, 'cause I think I can stay enough.
I've been saving no hide for this time,
And I think I can make you be some. And I think I can hold you, and I just can't go, 'cause I think I can stay enough. 'Cause I think I can stay enough.
Morning after morning, I rose before the sun. The years were counted by the work begun. Hope stood ahead of me and made the burden light. Love could not make every promise right. 7 harvests passed beneath my hands. Dust became a language I could understand. I carried water, watched the evening fall, and kept one face before me through it all. The days felt small because my hope was near. I trusted words I wanted to believe. Then lamps went low and night concealed the room. Morning opened what the dark had hidden. No heart within that house was left untouched. One bargain gathered more than one life in. desire, duty, silence, and surprise. All walk together in the morning light.
7 years felt like days, while hope was before me. Love made the labor lighter, not the world more true. The night changed what I thought I had been promised, and morning left me holding more than I knew.
I carry devotion and disappointment, neither one erased the other from my view.
Long waiting can be tender and still wounded. Love can remain while truth is overdue.
The answer came with another measured season, another promise tied to more work done. I stayed and served through years I had not chosen, still reaching toward the one my heart had loved. But no one there was only part of my story. No woman was a shadow in my role. We all were caught inside another's choosing, each bearing weight that did not fit alone. God of the years that love and labor tangle, see every person hidden in the cost. See those who waited, those who were exchanged. See every trust bewildered and crossed.
Do not let longing turn a heart to ownership. Do not let patience praise what was untrue. Stay near the ones who keep on working and teach us how to carry love with truth.
I will not call the wound a holy thing. I will not say the waiting caused no pain. But I can bring the years I cannot change into the mercy that still knows my name.
7 years felt like days,
While hope was before me,
love made the labor lighter,
not the world more true.
the night changed what
I thought I had been promised, yet morning did not hide what we went through. I carry devotion and disappointment, and bring them both, oh God, in front of you. Oh, keep love from masking silence of the wounded. Lead every waiting heart in what is true. The fields grow still beneath the fading sky. The work is done, though not the questions raised. I leave the years within your patient keeping. Love and truth remain before your gaze.
The room was full, yet I was standing lonely. A quiet ache kept asking to be known, where human eyes had measured and passed over. Your eyes remained and would not turn away.
learned the weight of being near and unwanted. I heard affection offer somewhere else. I tried to make a future from my longing, and place my hope where love might change its course.
With every cradle, one more question open. Would I be cherished now? Would I belong? The house could hear the names upon my children. You heard the hidden sentence in each one. You did not ask me to deny the wanting. You did not hurry grief into a song. You stayed beside the hope that kept returning, and saw how long my heart had waited there.
You saw me where affection passed me by. You heard the name beneath each longing. I was not hidden from your patient eyes. I was not small because another was chosen. You held the truth I could not yet make peaceful. You stayed where all my unanswered wishes lay. I still desired the love I had been missing, and still, oh Lord, you saw me anyway. The first name carried hope that I was noticed. The second said my sorrow had been heard. The third still reached for closeness and belonging. Each name became a window through my heart. The rooms grew loud with life and daily breathing, yet one old ache remained beside my joy. Then with the fourth my song turned toward your goodness, not because every wound had disappeared.
I am more than what another heart could give me, more than the place assigned to me by men. Yet you do not shame the part that still is longing. You gather every fragment as it is. Praise is not pretending I was never wounded. Praise is turning wounded eyes toward grace. So let my honest sorrow breathe beside it, while your unfailing sight becomes my rest.
Stay with the ache I cannot name completely.
Stay with the hope that rises once again.
Teach me a praise that does not silence sorrow.
Hold me as one already seen and known.
You saw me where affection passed me by. You heard the name beneath each longing. I was not hidden from your patient eyes. I was not small because another was chosen. You hold the truth I still cannot make peaceful. You stay where all my unanswered wishes lie. I lift my praise without denying longing, for even here, oh Lord, I meet your eyes.
The house grows quiet under evening mercy. The names rest softly in the fading light. My ache is still a part of what I carry. I walk as one held safely in your sight. sorrows can overflow and still feel empty. Many voices cannot guarantee us peace. We counted gifts as if they measured favor, and every count made someone feel unseen. I watched another cradle from a distance. My grief grew sharp beneath the words I spoke. I reached for answers through another woman's body, as if a child could quiet all my fear. Each new name carried struggle and remembrance. Each victory still left the room unsure. I wanted more than triumph over someone. I wanted to be held, beloved and known. I held the children sleeping near my shoulder, and still could feel affection passing by. I traded what I had for one more evening, hoping closeness might repair the years. My joy was real, my sorrow was not smaller. The two lived side by side inside my chest. I wanted more than being called the fruitful. I wanted freely given tenderness. None of us were only what the other feared. None of us were healed by keeping score beneath the bargains, names, and restless striving. Every heart was asking to be loved. This house was full of longing. Every name was asking to be loved. We were not born to be each other's measure. Comparison had worn our spirits thin. You saw the ache beneath our hurried choices. You heard the prayers we could not speak with grace. You did not come to crown a single winner. You remembered hearts that needed room to breathe. Remember me when another joy feels louder. See me when my plenty cannot make me whole. Keep me from turning pain into a contest. Keep me from using love to prove my worth. Hold every mother, every servant, every child, not as pieces in another person's need. Meet us in the house we made so restless, and give each wounded heart a place to breathe. The rooms are still, the questions are not over. No single birth can settle every ache, but memory can reach a heart in waiting, and mercy makes a little room for breath. This house was full of longing. Every name was asking to be loved. We laid down the need to be each other's measure, and bring our tired striving into grace. You saw the ache beneath our hurried choices. You remembered
small. Within this crowded house, your mercy lingers. You remember every heart and lose not one.
Before the sunrise, my hands were already moving. Day after day, the same fields call my name. The numbers changed whenever they were counted. Still I learned the shape of patient work. I asked to take my household toward my country, but one more season waited at the door. You knew how little stood here when I entered, and how the flocks had gathered through my care. The terms were spoken, altered, then remembered. The measure moved whenever gain appeared. Through heat and dust, through ordinary mornings, my hands kept faith, the work that must be done. Not every harvest proves a life is favored. Not every increase means the terms were right. But you saw labor hidden from all praises, knew when work should open into flight.
This is the work of my hands, weathered by years beneath another's keeping. I will not call each gain a sign of greatness. I will not praise the terms that kept me bound. You stayed with me through change and calculations. You gave enough to gather those I love. And when the time arrived to leave this ground, the work of my hands became a road.
Among the flocks were many kinds of markings, dark wool and spotted coats beneath the sun. I watched and planned with what was set before me, and separated what the years had grown. Human wisdom tangled with survival. No simple story rested in the field. Still there was bread enough to feed my household, and strength enough to think of going home. God of the worker under shifting measures, see those whose wages change from day to day. See every hour that disappears unnoticed. See every promise quietly rearranged. Do not let increase become our gospel. Do not let need become a mark of shame. Teach us when to stay and when to journey, with honest hands and courage for the way. My worth is not the number of my cattle. My hope is not the silver I can hold. Yet none of all these years has gone unseen. You know the work, the weariness, the road.
This is the work of my hands, weathered by years beneath another's keep. I will not call each gain a sign of greatness or hide the cost of all that brought me here. You stayed with me through changing calculations. You gave enough to gather those I love. And now the fields behind me meet the distance. The work of my hands becomes a road.
The evening settles softly on the pasture. The final count grows quiet in the book. I gather what these faithful years have carried and turn my weathered hands toward home. The faces near me no longer look the same. A colder silence moved across the field. Then through the noise of everything uncertain, a voice I knew said, "Return to the land." The suns were speaking as if all had been taken. The countenance I knew had turned away. The wages had been changed beyond remembering, yet you had kept me through each altered day. You named the land of fathers and of kindred. You called me toward the road I once had fled. And more than any map or stored provision, you gave one promise: I will be with you. Call us from the places that have shaped us. Call us with the truth we cannot hide. Leaving does not mean the years were empty. Staying does not always make things right.
Return to the land. Return to your people. Not because the road ahead is clear. Gather the children, fold up the dwelling. Carry both the courage and the fear. The God who met us in the years of labor will not remain behind when we depart. Return to the land.
The voice goes before us
and makes a road where home begins in heart.
We have been treated like strangers in our Father's house. Our portion spent as though it were not ours.
We know the cost of being counted useful, then overlooked when usefulness is gone.
What God has given is for all our children, not trophies taken from another hand.
all that God has spoken of the land.
Leaving can be faithful and still painful. A no place can be difficult to release. Blessing does not erase the years of conflict. Obedience does not promise instant peace. We will not call the past completely barren. We will not let the past decide our end. The one who watched us under changing wages will walk beside us through the dust again. We cannot carry every room behind us.
We cannot know what waits beyond this field,
but we can move with truth between our voices
and trust the presence promised on the way.
Return to the land. Return to your people.
Not because the road ahead is clear.
Gather the children, fold up the dwelling, carry both the courage and the fear. The God who met us in the years of labor, will go before and walk beside our hearts.
Return to the land, the voice still leads us and makes a road where home can start again.
The tent cloth folds beneath our quiet hands.
The path grows pale beneath the morning sky.
We leave with questions, resting in the wagons, and with the promise,
I am by your side.
we left before goodbye could gather.
The tents came down beneath the hurried sky.
The road received our children and our cattle, but not all that we carried could be seen. I crossed the river with the hills before me, afraid that open words would close the way. I stole away without announcing leaving, because I feared what power might reclaim. The household moved like footsteps through the darkness. The years behind us folded into cloth. I thought I knew the burdens in our wagons. I did not know what traveled out with us. I took a small thing from my father's dwelling and hid it underneath the things I bore. I cannot name it, only greed or worship. Some bonds are knotted deeper than we know. Perhaps it felt like one remaining portion, perhaps a claim from years that left me small.
did not release it all. The body can be moving toward a future, while something in the heart still faces back. The road may carry us beyond a border, while hidden grief remains beneath the pack. What we could not leave came with us, folded beneath the cloth and fear. The feet can cross a river in one evening. The heart may take much longer to come near. You know the way we hide from one another. You know the things we cannot rightly name. Meet us without excusing what can harm us, and teach our guarded hands to open again. He came behind us after days of anger. The searching moved from shelter into tent. Words were spoken larger than our knowledge. A vow was made without knowing what it meant. The hidden thing lay close beneath the silence. The search came near and passed without a sound. How many wounds remain beneath our stories, because no honest language has been found. Do not expose our weakness only for shame. Do not permit what binds us to remain. Give us the truth to see what we are carrying, and mercy strong enough to set it down. What we could not leave came with us, folded beneath the cloth and fear. The feet had crossed the river in one evening. Our hearts were still entangled with the years. You know the way we hide from one another. You know the things we struggle even to name. Walk with us until our hands can open, and what we could not leave no longer reigns. The road grows quiet underneath the moonlight. The hidden weight is known though yet unseen. We travel on with more than packed possessions, toward truth that slowly teaches us release.
The stones lay silent between two weary houses. The words had waited longer than the road. 20 years rose up within one evening, and asked at last to be honestly told. By day the heat had rested on my shoulders.
By night the frost had entered through my clothes. Sleep had fled while I protected what was entrusted, and I had carried losses as my own. For daughters and for flocks I spent the seasons. The wages changed again and yet again. Had not the God of my fathers seen my labor, I might have left with empty, open hands. There comes a time when silence is not kindness, when hidden cost must finally have a name. Truth need not rise to injure or humiliate, but truth must stand where boundaries are made.
Let there be a witness between us. These stones will not pretend the past was small. We speak aloud the years we carry quietly, and build a line that neither the crosses to harm.
May God watch where our eyes cannot follow. May distance keep what closeness could not mend. Not every peace requires an open doorway. Sometimes mercy marks where one road ends. You call the daughters children, flocks your own, as though their lives could never leave your hand. Yet what could anger do to those before you, when love and loss were mixed in every claim? So we gathered stones and raised a pillar. We shared a meal beside the boundary line. The heat became a witness to our speaking, that neither side would cross to cause more harm.
God of the words withheld through years of labor, teach us to speak without becoming cruel. Teach us to hear the pain behind another, without surrendering what must be true.
A boundary is not always unforgiveness. A distance is not always lovelessness. Sometimes peace begins with honest limits, and leaves the rest beneath your watchfulness. I do not need to make the past seem gentle. I do not need revenge to make it known. I set these stones where memory and mercy meet, then turn toward the journey of my own.
Let there be a witness between us. These stones will not pretend the past was small. We have spoken of the years we carried quietly, and raised a line that neither crosses to harm.
May God watch where our eyes cannot follow. May grace remain where closeness could not mend. Not every peace requires an open doorway. Sometimes mercy marks where one road ends. The fire grows low beside the gathered stones.
The final words rest softly in the night.
we rise with neither victory nor vengeance, and leave the boundary standing in the light.
Two camps beneath an unfamiliar heaven, a road behind me, an old fear ahead. I send my careful words across the distance, but no message could quiet what I felt. The messengers returned before the evening. My brother came with many at his side. The name I carried through the years of absence awoke the memory I had tried to hide. I divided all I loved into two companies, as though a plan could soften every loss. I counted every path that might remain if anger came and swept the first one off. I knew the language of arranging outcomes. I knew how fear could plan through half the night.
But all my careful measures left one question: who would I be before my brother's eyes?
Before I see his face, I lay my fear before you.
Before I cross the space,
no gift can make me whole.
I have prepared the words and ordered every offering,
yet none of them can govern what he feels.
before I see his face.
Be near the heart I cannot calm alone. I spoke of Abraham and of my father. I spoke the promise given on the road. I came with only one staff through this river. Now two great camps surround the weight I hold. I am not worthy of the steady kindness that followed every mile I could not see. Deliver those entrusted to my keeping, and meet the frightened men still living in me. The animals went forward group by group, each servant carried words designed for peace. A river flowed between the gifts and giver, but still my inward trembling did not cease. Forgiveness cannot be purchased by abundance. A wounded past cannot be priced away. I can prepare the path toward reconciliation, but I cannot command another heart to change. So take the night beyond my calculations. Take every answer I rehearsed in fear. I cannot see the face
that waits before me. But I can't ask you to remain right here.
Before I see his face,
I lay my fear before you.
before I cross the space,
No gift can make me whole.
I have prepared the words and sent the offerings.
Leave the
Unseen answer in your hands. Before I see his face,
stay near the heart that learns to lose control. The final company moves
into the darkness,
the river keeps its quiet.
measured sound,
I wait with nothing left to send before me,
and place my guarded heart upon the ground.
The river held the darkness without speaking. Everyone I loved had crossed ahead. I stood alone with nothing left between us, and someone met me in the depth of night. There were no words to make the struggle simple, no witness there to name what had begun. We held each other underneath the silence until the dark grew thin before the sun. I used the strength that carried years of labor. I used the will that always found a way. But neither skill nor planning could release me from being held until the break of day. The night was more than something to survive. The wound was more than proof that I had lost. I could not leave unchanged from that encounter. I could not earn the blessing that I sought until the breaking of the day. I held and I was held there until the breaking of the day. My practiced strength gave way. You asked the name I carried through my running, and touched the place where all my power ends. I left the night still leaning on a blessing, wounded, known, and learning who I am. I answered with a name that shaped my history, a name of grasping, striving, taking hold. You gave a name that opened toward a future, not clean of scars, but no longer the old. I asked to know the one who stood before me. The answer came in blessing, not in proof. The sun arose upon my altered walking, and every step remembered what was true. would not let me leave as I began. Some prayers are answered through a deeper weakness. Some mornings come with limping in their light. The blessing and the wound can travel with us when grace has met us honestly at night. Do not release me to my old disguises. Do not let striving speak my name again. Hold me until truth becomes my walking, and let my weakness lean upon your strength.
Until the breaking of the day,
I held and I was held there.
until the breaking of the day,
My guarded strength gave way. You knew the name
I carried through my running,
and spoke a name that called me toward the light. I leave the river leaning on your blessing, wounded, known, and walking into dawn. The water shines beneath the rising morning. The eastern sky unfolds above the land. I cross the road with one uneven footstep and carry grace I could not understand. The morning showed the ones who came before me, 400 figures moving through the land. I placed my family carefully behind me, then walked ahead with trembling, altered steps. I bowed toward the earth again and over. Each lowered movement carried years between. I could not know if anger crossed the distance, or what my brother's eyes would find in me. Then he began to run across the open, not with the vengeance I had learned to fear. His arms became the answer I had not prepared for, and both our faces opened into tears. The past was not erased within embracing. The years apart were more than one embrace, but mercy entered where we had expected anger, and gave the present moment room for grace. When I saw your face, I found a welcome I had not imagined.
when I saw your face,
My rehearsed defenses fell away. I came expecting only what my fear remembered, but kindness between us open for a while. You asked about the children gathered near me. I named them as the gifts that grace had given. You asked about the company sent before me. I said I sought acceptance in your sight. You answered that you had enough already, but I still asked that you receive the gift, not as a price to purchase your forgiveness, but as a sign that peace had reached this field. An open arm cannot undo all history. A kiss cannot return the missing years. Yet neither must the past forbid compassion or make us turn from every offered peace. We do not need to call the wound unimportant to welcome what is gentle here and now. Sometimes grace appears in human kindness, and fear releases what it once held down. I feared the face I carried in my memory. I feared the judgment waiting in your gaze. But what I met was more than my prediction. A brother running toward me with embrace. When I saw your face, I found a welcome I had not imagined. When I saw your face, my guarded heart could breathe again. I came expecting only what my fear remembered, but kindness stood before me in your eyes. When I saw your face, I received the peace I could not organize. The gifts lie quiet underneath the daylight. The children rise from where they bowed before. We stand with tears still resting on our faces, and let one gentle moment close the distance.
The road did not end with one embrace. There were children, flocks, and slower feet. Peace did not ask us to travel at one pace. It gave us room to choose the way ahead. You offered to walk beside our household and leave some people with us for the road. But tenderness must honor human limits and not demand a closeness we cannot hold. The children were still young, the flocks were nursing, One hurried day could ask of them too much. So we moved gently according to their strength, and let the faster company go on.
There is a peace
It does not force the future.
There is a
Kindness able to release. A warm farewell can still preserve a boundary, and separate roads can carry honest peace. After the long road, we learn to walk at the pace of the weary. After the long road, we found that peace need not be loud. A shelter rose where tired ones could rest. A field was bought beneath a quieter sky. After the long road, we built a place to breathe and call on God. At Succoth we made shelters for the cattle, small coverings against the weather's change. Then safely we arrived beside the city, and spread our dwelling near the open field. We purchased ground instead of merely passing, a little space where restless feet could stay. And there we raised an altar from remembrance. The God of Israel had led us all the way. Home is not pretending we are finished. Home is not a life without a scar. Sometimes home begins with room for breathing, and knowing we have safely come this far. The road has held our labor and our longing, our hidden grief, our wrestling and release. Now gratitude can rise without becoming triumph. A quiet altar in a field of peace. Let me not hurry those entrusted to me. Let me not force what mercy would unfold. Give me the wisdom to respect each weakness, and hands that build a shelter from the cold. After the long road, we learn to walk at the pace of the weary. After the long road, we receive the peace that meets us here. A shelter stands where tired ones can rest. An altar rises underneath the sky. After the long road, we name the God who stayed through every mile. The evening gathers softly on the field. The winding road lies quiet in the past. We rest without declaring every journey over, held by the God who brought us safely here.